Borussia Dortmund have been so close to winning the Bundesliga on many occasions in the past 10 years, but they just haven't done it. The best example there is the 22-23 season when he finished on same points than Bayern Munich after bottling it on the last match day. So today it is Rebuild Sombrero taking over Borussia Dortmund for 10 seasons to try and win them as many trophies as possible. Little reminder of the points tally. You get 5 points for the UEFA Champions League, 3 points for the league title, in this case the Bundesliga, also 3 points for the Europa League or Europa Conference League, and then 1 point for any cup competition, like the DFB Pokal in this case, the German Super Cup, or even the UEFA Super Cup. So far it is Real Madrid atop of the Takeover leaderboard with 70 points. In second then there is Barcelona on joint points with Chelsea, 66. For season number 1, I think we have a good squad here at our hands at Borussia Dortmund. I like players like Schlotterbeck, Kobel, Sabitzer, and even the left side, Jadon Sancho and Ian Maatsen, who are both though only on loan to us, so we need to see what we can do. Of course, we have 3 transfers per season available to us. There is a big emphasis on youth at Borussia Dortmund, so we are going to set up a scouting network. It is Tillmeyer 4-star scout, going to be sent to Germany for 9 months to make us some babies. Of course, as I said, there are some players on loan to us, like Maatsen and Sancho, but there are also players out on loan, like Gio Reyna, Koulibaly and Rote, who I'm all going to let at their clubs for now. They are going to come back in like a year or two. A player I absolutely love in this squad is Gregor Kobel, 25-year-old, 87 goalkeeper. He's a man for present and future. He can only develop into a world-class goalkeeper. Now another player that I absolutely love is Karim Adeyemi. I'm going to convert him into a right winger, which will only take about 2 weeks. Just like putting Jamie Bino-Gittens and Daniel Malen also on winger transforming plans. I'm contemplating which technical vision to use, and I do believe that gegenpressing fits this team nicely. Now I've also nicely expanded our coaching system, apart from the attacking spots where there are only 3-star coaches available, as you can see here. And we have a healthy budget of 79 million for our first season with Borussia Dortmund. First player we signed this season is a left back who is already at the club. You guys guessed it, he was on loan to us from Chelsea, and I absolutely love this guy in a career mode sense. It is Ian Maatsen joining us from Chelsea for a bargain 21.6 million. Another man we sign is a new right back. I had my eyes set on him. He's only 18 years of age. Right wing back actually. I'm going to try to convert him to a right back, but he's from Sporting. Just like Borussia Dortmund in real life, hiring rather unknown players. It is Ivan Fresneda joining us from Sporting for 8 million plus Marius Wolf, who we didn't need anymore. We have done a lot of clear out, and unfortunately 2 players that I really like on a personal level have had to be sold as well, in Sebastian Haller to Brighton for 33 million, and the big one Marco Reus, who of course has left Borussia Dortmund. Here he goes to Barcelona. In real life he's left them. I don't even know the club he's going to, but here he goes to Barcelona. Then we've also loaned out a whole list of players like Duranville, Brunner, Vetjen, Bamba, Papadopoulos to Inter Miami, and Kamara to Samsunspor in Turkey. And as our third and final signing of the season, we bring back the long-lost son. He was on loan to us, of course, this season, and you know who I'm talking about. The second player on a loan deal that we actually make permanent. Jadon Sancho entering the club permanently from Man United. We had to forge out a lot of money, 52 million. This is how the side is looking like after this transfer window, and of course we haven't massively improved the squad, but Maatsen 2177 and Sancho 2381, 2 players with a lot of potential still to grow, alongside Fresneda, who is only 1872 overall, but he will grow massively. I don't expect the Champions title, the Bundesliga title in the first season, but I expect us to fight for it. And guys, I don't know how to feel about this, but Mats Hummel's release clause had been met, and he's gone for 22.9 million, a lot of money for a 34-year-old. He's gone to Fiorentina in Italy. I completely forgot that we have Niklas Süle, who is also 84 rated at the club, but that means that we don't have any centre-back depth on, of course, the bench. Fresneda, Benzebaini are both fullbacks, so we have to get through the first season without centre-back coverage. A few positional changes here as Daniel Malen becomes a left winger from a right midfielder and he goes up by 1. Same applies for Jamie Bino Gittens from a left midfielder to a left winger and he goes up by 2 actually to 76. And finally, Adeyemi to a right winger from a left midfielder, he goes up by 1 as well. Jadon Sancho then completes our positional changes. He goes from a left midfielder to a left winger again. And he goes up by 2, that's what I love to see. So let's see what we can do during those 10 seasons. In our first season with Borussia Dortmund, it is actually the same old story as it was for the past 10 years. 75 points, second place behind Bayern Munich, 4 points only. It's a sensational winner in Bochum, defeating Leipzig in the final 2-0 of the DFB Pokal. And we have actually been beaten in the quarterfinals by RB Leipzig away. And how unrealistic is that? It is Manchester United winning Season 1's Champions League over Benfica. In real life they got grouped, both of those. While actually we didn't even make it out of the group here, in Group of Death of course, Group F. PSG and Milan in the first 2 spots, Newcastle in the last, but we went to the Europa League, where we tanked Union Saint-Gilloise in the preliminary round 7-3. We overcame Leverkusen, scraped by them in the round of 16 3-2. In the quarters we cruised past Roma 4-1, but in the semis we were destroyed by Manchester City. I mean, what are Manchester City even doing in Europa League in the first season? And United winning the Champions League and City winning the Europa League. Shouldn't that be the other way round? But oh well. No points on the board in the first season, but Malen has scored 24 goals. Incredible. 14 goals and 13 assists for Sabitzer. I told you this guy has still a lot in his locker left. Adeyemi 14 goals, up to an 85, up by 5. Great growth. The whole squad is actually on international duty, but you can see the growth on these players. Schlotterbeck up to an 87, Kobel up to a 90. First 90 rated player in this squad. Brand 85, Füllkrug 81, Malen even 85, Sancho 86. All I know is that if in the second season we buy a better centre back, get some depth into the squad, we can reach even more than in the first season where we nearly did it already in the Bundesliga. Okay boys, to start off the second season I have some bad news. Karim Adeyemi wanted to leave the club and so we had to sell him because his contract was also about to expire. 97 million we still got out of him to Liverpool, but I'm absolutely gutted. Just like for Felix Nmecha, he's 81 overall, 23 years of age, and Arsenal of all clubs activated his release clause of 42.7 million. We then willingly sold Niklas Füllkrug for 32 million for a 31-year-old that is not bad to Sociedad. And then a youth academy player, actually potential to be special, Jens Kraft, Civ 1763, we found him and loaned him out immediately. Just like Scholz, also from the youth up setup, he's 1763 on loan to Oviedo. Without Adeyemi, Füllkrug and then Mecha, this team is completely depleted. Also in terms of squad depth, we don't even have a striker on the bench, no centre back. We have an ungodly amount of money though, 313 million, and this is a 10-season takeover. We want points, and we will invest that money, even though it will be unrealistic at times. The pinnacle of unrealistic transfers already starts here, as we go in for an absolute superstar, a world beater. He even lowers his wage to come to us. It is the man coming home. Of course, he gets the best cutscene of all. The Englishman is back at the club, where it began for him, where he became a superstar. It is, of course, Jude Bellingham, coming home for 185 million. We had to bring out the checkbook here. Now, you know, guys, I would love to go in for this man, but he will cost us an arm and a leg. Erling Haaland. I want to bring him home at some point as well. Now, we get another world beater into this side. Not quite as expensive, though, as Bellingham. Another Englishman, as Fikayo Tomori walks into the building. 80 million on the dot. Now, after going in for these two absolute superstars, I've now gone in for much lower rated player, only for 3 million. A German prospect in the striking force. He will give the backup to Moukoko. It is Nelson Viper joining us from Inter for 2.2 million, even less than 3. I do believe that with the signings of Tomori 2686, Bellingham 2189 and backup striker Nelson Viper, this team is much better now. Especially in the first team, Tomori, Bellingham have really elevated the quality of this side. At the very end of the transfer window, we sell Rami Benzebaini to Chelsea because we got 28 million for a 29-year-old defender. Giovanni Reina has returned from loan, the American, and I have converted him to a right winger from a right midfielder, and he stays at a 80 overall. I mean, guys, just look at Till Fuchs. What a youth academy prospect. 15 years of age. A left back, 58 overall, 88 to 94%. Well, it's the same old story once again at the end of the second season. Second place, 1 point behind Bayern Munich, 73 points. Same old, 0 points still. Well, in the Champions League, though, it was an whole different story. Well, whole different story, though, in the Champions League, as we have topped our group ahead of Chelsea, 7 points ahead of them. Round of 16, we defeated Aston Villa 3-2. But in the quarterfinals, it was the end of the road as Real Madrid, the kings of Europe, knocked us out 6-3 on aggregate. And they went on to win the Champions League over Barcelona. And it stays 0 points as Leipzig defeat Bayern in the DFB Pokal. While we have been knocked out in round 2, absolutely brilliant, by Schalke, our biggest rivals. I mean, Jude Bellingham is just a cheat code. 21 goals, 15 assists. That is what I wanted from him. 21 goals for Moukoko, 11 for Reina even. Up to an 83, the American, at 22 years of age. It's honestly a bit sad that this team still hasn't won any trophies in the first 2 seasons, but I guess it's the Dortmund story. It's actually what Dortmund do, they don't win trophies. Well, as you can see, the board aren't too happy with us. The manager rating is in the red, but no points, of course, in the second season either. Let's hope that in the third season, we can make even further progress and get beyond the quarterfinals of the Champions League. At the start of the third season, I have made 3 transfers in. First off, it is Marco Carnesecchi joining us from Atalanta for 34 million. Our second signing is Warren Zaire-Emery from Newcastle United, an exciting prospect, 19 years of age, a central midfielder, 82 overall, 94 million he cost us, an arm and a leg. And finally, probably the biggest signing, at least for the moment, it is Manuel Locatelli. I haven't bought this player, I think, ever in like one of those videos. He's 27, 86 overall. With those 3 players, Locatelli 27, 86, Zaire-Emery 19, 82, and of course, backup goalkeeper Marco Carnesecchi, 25-84. This team is looking much better in terms of depth. This team is coming together nicely. I mean, rarely a player under the overall of 80, even on the bench. We have Viper, who is the only one now, 74, but he's an exciting prospect still. Transfers out have been Marcel Sabitzer to Manchester City for 50 million. Özcan to Wolves for 21.7. Our backup goalkeeper has gone to Augsburg for 4.8 million. Let's make our way through this third season and hopefully win some trophy. And oh my god, we've just done it. We've become the champions of the Bundesliga for the first time in this takeover. 76 points, 3 ahead of Bayern. Plus 3 points, our first 3 points actually, on the leaderboard. Once again though, we don't win the German Cup. Leipzig win that over Gladbach, and we have been beaten by Bayern Munich in round 2 already. What an early showdown. However, in the Champions League, a very tight group, we topped that, ahead of RC Lens. Man United finished in 3rd. In the round of 16, we destroyed Spurs 5-2 on aggregate. That's what you like to see. In the quarters, we even destroyed Real Madrid, so we got our revenge for last season. In the semis, we defeated Manchester City. We are top dogs now. Can we cement our legacy as the best team in Europe against Barcelona? Yes! 3-1 win, plus 5 onto the leaderboard. 8 points only in season number 3. Moukoko is coming into his own. 20 goals in 34 outings. 13 goals for Bellingham, 11 assists. Great as well, up to a 93. Moukoko up to an 89 at 21 years of age. Crazy. You know what, lads? I'm gonna shock you. I absolutely love this team. Apart from 1 or 2 positions like Brandt, maybe Fresneda, where we could use improvements. We have even Zeremri in the squad. He can replace Brandt. But I actually like this team. That's a season and a half. The third season here with Borussia Dortmund. 8 points onto the leaderboard. And I mean, I want it to continue like that. And nothing speaks against it, actually. If we grow like we grew in that season here, nothing can stop us. We've made a couple of top-tier sales. Beginning with Julian Brandt, who goes to Bayer Leverkusen for 110 million. He goes back to where he came from. And then Tom Rother's release clause had been met. I didn't even realize he had one, but he goes to Burnley for 24 million. Leaving us with an unbelievable amount of money, 302 million in our bank. But then again, we need those 300 million because our squad depth is actually horrendous. We don't have a CDM on the bench or on the reserves. Some wingers, yes, like Duranville who came back, Bino Gittens, Reina. We are good to go there, but yeah, Zerer Marie comes here in. But still, then we have a CDM in Chan on the bench, but no other central midfielder. That needs to change. Our first signing of this season is for an absolute superstar. He's 23 years of age, 89 overall, and a man who can, of course, slip in easily into that cam spot. A man higher rated than Brandt and about 7 years younger. Of course, from Bayer Leverkusen it is Florian Wirtz. His contract was expiring. We got him for 123 million. Another big sale we make here just to get in some more funds. The American Giovanni Reina was surplus to requirements. We had so many wingers. 95 million. He goes to Bayer Leverkusen. Even though we signed Florian Wirtz and did a lot of business with Leverkusen, we have 261 million still for 2 players. And I mean, who better to bring in than the man I already announced, like, in the second season that I wanted him back at the club, when I bought Jude Bellingham. Of course, guys, it's the dream combination, once again reunited. As a big man is joining us here from Manchester City, you of course know who I'm talking about. It's Erling Haaland coming back to Borussia Dortmund for 175 million on the dot. With Wirtz 23.92 and Haaland 26.94 into the team, this is just a much better side now. And so last but not least, we go in for a new right back. Actually, in real life, he plays for Manchester City. Think he was out on loan to Girona. It is Jan Couto coming in for 42.6 million, plus Julian Ryerson from Spurs, of all clubs. This team has to be successful this season. There is even no way. Couto now 24.84, in of course the starting 11. A fantastic team. I want us to win more trophies this season, again the Bundesliga, and maybe once again the Champions League. With the new boys in town, we have the chance to win the UEFA Super Cup here at the beginning of the season. Let's see if we can get that against Lazio. Yes, oh my god, only on penalties though. This is the first point here of season number 4 with Borussia Dortmund. Malen scored the equalizer, 3-3 after 90 minutes. Couto even scored here, the new man. And on penalties, we defeated Lazio. Yet another shot at glory here in the German Super Cup against Red Bull Leipzig, RB Leipzig at the Red Bull Arena. And we get the win there as well. Malen, Bino Gittens and Mukoko, who is of course now our bench player, scored the goals to give us our second. We are back to square one, boys. Second place in the Bundesliga in season number 4. Just on same points than Bayern. This is incredible. I don't like that. I absolutely don't like that. We have lost on goal difference by 2. We haven't even won the DFB Pokal, as Bayern won that against Leipzig in the final. Whilst we have been knocked out in round 2 already, we don't like the DFB Pokal here. I mean, we are not friends with that. In the Champions League, we started off in a very strong group with Salzburg, Liverpool and Young Boys. Liverpool actually got knocked out to the Europa League, while we topped our group in flying colours ahead of Salzburg, before defeating Inter in the round of 16, scraping through them 3-2. Quarters, we even beat Barcelona. Semis, we have beaten Atletico Madrid. And in the final, oh my god, we have just about lost to PSG. The end boss of career mode have destroyed our dreams. Mukoko is just a cheat code. 25 goals in 26 appearances as the backup striker. Haaland only with 14, I don't understand why. He's up to 95 though. 16 goals again and 13 assists for Bellingham. More than Haaland even. I mean, it's actually criminal that we haven't won more than 1 Bundesliga in 4 seasons. With this kind of a side, I don't know, guys. I don't know what even to improve. Maybe the left side here, Mats and Sancho, next season. Only 2 points in the 4th season. There's 2 Super Cups. No, of course, Bundesliga and no Champions League. In both, we have been absolutely cruelly beaten. On same points in the league and, of course, runner-up 1-0 loss to PSG. To start off the season, it is Niklas Süle who is already had agreed a deal with Milan and he's now joining them on a pre-contract. I've done quite a massive clear out here. As you can see, no reserves left in the club. We have a classy bench and Kraft has returned from loan, but no other reserves left. Nelson Viper has gone, among others, to Udinese for good 30 million. We have 3 massive deals lined up, first of them being for a new CDM, giving us squad depth in case, of course, Chan decreases even more. It is the Colombian Chelsea CDM. Moises Caicedo joining us. Here he plays for Newcastle United. 80 million he cost us from Newcastle. We needed to replace Niklas Süle, who has, of course, left us. He was about 31, 32. But we have gotten a younger player. Nearly the same overall already. Jean-Claire Todibo from Aston Villa, 63.5 million. Still we have about 160 million in our bank to go in for one final player. I'm shocked that he only wants a sporadic squad role here. And he decreases his wages by nearly half, but oh well. Gabriel Martinelli joins us as our final player. The left winger from Arsenal here for Liverpool playing. His contract was expiring in 11 months. We got him for the bargain, 82 million. I mean, even Martinelli struggles to start here. He's about 1 year younger than Sancho and same overall. We have Bino Gittens for the same position who can also play on the right here. Malen there is at 89. So Bino Gittens, I expect him to take that spot in a few years' time. Todibo gives us more backup from the bench, just like Caicedo. Both still relatively young, 27 Todibo and 25 even Caicedo. We get a first shot at glory here in our 5th season with Borussia Dortmund. Against Bayern in the German Super Cup this time. No UEFA Super Cup, of course. We didn't win any European competition. But can we get the German Super Cup? Yes! Haaland with a brace. Finally coming in clutch. Alberto Molairo won the kid with a goal for Bayern. But that was not enough for them. And even though I am sad about it, we had to progress by selling the former captain. I think he's the default captain of this side. Emre Can, who goes to Spurs of all teams for 25.9 million. He was 33. We are at the end of the season and I cannot believe my eyes. We have not lost a single game out of 34. 84 points, 25 wins, 9 draws, 0 losses. A perfect season which earns us 3 points onto the leaderboard. We don't win the DFB Pokal, however, as Leverkusen beat Stuttgart in that. Still no DFB Pokal, as we have been knocked out in the quarterfinals to Wolfsburg. We though topped our group in the Champions League, 1 point ahead of Real Madrid, before defeating Marseille 3-1 in the round of 16, beating Juventus in the quarterfinals 4-3. This gets interesting. Semi-finals, we even defeated Man City to play yet another Champions League final against PSG, and this time we win against Paris. 2-1 in the final, 5 points onto the board. The stats are looking great. I mean, Moukokos, again, the best scorer, ahead of Haaland this time, 2 goals. But Erling Haaland and Moukoko nearly the same games. I don't know what's going on there. As long as they score 44 goals among them, I don't have a problem though, I guess. Again, 16 goals, 10 assists for Captain Bellingham, up to a 96. What a player. After 5 seasons, we are on, of course, 19 points. Let's see what we can win in the second part of this takeover. To start off season number 6, we go in for a sporadic right back, probably like the Kyle Walker or Kieran Trippier region, right back from England. He's only 20 years of age, 83 overall. It is Taylor Richardson, signing on from the free agency list. Next up, we further strengthen our backline in quality and depth by going in for an Italian centre-back. It is, of course, Alessandro Bastoni, for 120 million from Inter to Borussia Dortmund. And last but not least, a South Korean left winger, 18 years of age. Again, a free agent, our second free agent already in this window. He might get loaned out in the first season, but gives us a lot of options for the future. It is Min Jun Wang, probably the Youngmin Son region. Even not probably, I'm very sure about that. What I like even more about Taylor Richardson is that he's actually left-footed, so we are going to convert him to a left back and then have both fullback spots absolutely covered. This is a look at our team here, and of course the end of the transfer window. And what I can tell you is that none of the players we bought actually got into the starting 11. Richardson is on the reserves even. We have loaned out our South Korean Jungmin Son regen. And Bastoni is on the bench now. I mean, I've swapped him with Todibo. So we have 4 world-class centre-backs actually at the club. 2 very good right-backs in Couto and Fresneda. 2 great left-backs now, as I've converted Richardson into one. An immediate opportunity for our team to get the first point of season number 6. Can we get that against Newcastle United in the UEFA Super Cup? Yes, once again on penalties. We have scored all our penalties. Newcastle have missed 2. In normal time, it was Bellingham saving us. And that is what gives us our first point of season number 6, the UEFA Super Cup. The next shot at a trophy is right ahead of us. It is the Heinz von Heiden Arena between Bayer Leverkusen and Borussia Dortmund, the Super Cup, German Super Cup final. Can we get a second point here of the season? Yes, absolutely. Haaland with a brace. Absolutely wonderful. Second point of season number 6. I have found another super talented player in Jonathan Johnson. He gets promoted to the first team, 17 years of age, 68 overall, 88 to 94 potential, a left winger. Let's simulate that 6th season and hope we can gather more trophies. 3 further points as we also win the Bundesliga. At the end of the season, 6 points ahead of Bayern Munich. Only 2 losses all season long. Once again though, of course, no DFB Pokal win as Gladbach win that over Stuttgart. We have been knocked out in the semis by Mönchengladbach. Absolutely brilliant. Can we make it back-to-back Champions League wins? We started off very well in a Group A with Fenerbahce, Liverpool and Benfica. Round of 16 we destroyed Salzburg from Austria. Quarterfinals we even scraped past PSG. In the semis we destroyed Real Madrid 4-1 to play Juventus in the final. Can we make it back-to-back? No, we lose against Juventus in the final. Oh no, I mean, we were so close yet so far again here. Bellingham is just amazing. 28 goals, 20 assists in 53 appearances. Incredible, unbelievable. Ballon d'Or territory. 21 goals for Haaland, second best scorer. A bit disappointing still, up to a 96. 12 goals for Malen, he's up to a 91. Great as well. Bino Egiton's up to an 88. 11 goals for him. This squad is just amazing and it's clear that we should win the league every single year from now. Locatelli may go down in overall, but we have Caicedo on the bench. We can look for maybe another one at on this position, but otherwise this team is just fine. Actually a very, very good season. First in the Bundesliga, winner of Super Cup and UEFA Super Cup. Semi-finals in the DFB Pokal. I think that's the furthest we've gotten so far. 24 points after 6 seasons. So let's see if in the last 4 seasons we can do even more damage here. In season number 7, we want to get back to winning ways in the Champions League. That's why we signed a big player from PSG right away. He's still only 26, 90 overall, a Frenchman. Of course, I'm talking about Eduardo Camavinga joining us for 150 million. We had about 400 million in our bank. A man who used to play at Dortmund. We bring back home if we get the wages right. And we seem to do. It is Achraf Hakimi joining us. He's only the backup now to Jan Couto, but he's 30 years of age, 86 overall. We got hold of him in a straight swap deal with Ivan Fresneda, who wasn't growing that much. We have so many reserves right now. Wang, of course, returned from loan. We have Duranville, Müller, youth academy player. Brunner returned from loan. Kuhn. Mukoko, 92, 24 years of age on the bench. We have Camavinga, of course, now 26, 90 overall in the starting 11. Couto is still a starting 11 player, 27, 88. But now, of course, Hakimi on the bench. And then a fantastic, very sharp front line in Martinelli, Haaland and Malen. First game of the season is a Super Cup game against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Can we get our first point here of the 7th season? Yes, absolutely. Martinelli and Malen score the goals and turn the game around, actually. At the end of season number 7, we are once again atop Bundesliga, 6 points ahead of Leverkusen. Bayern all the way down in 4th. But we have made 85 points. Brilliant season. 3 points onto the leaderboard. And this season we've even won the DFB Pokal, which is our 5th point of season number 7. However, the big one, the UEFA Champions League, we started perfectly. 6 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses, 18 points ahead of Man United. In the round of 16 we obliterated Monaco, 7-2 on aggregate. Quarterfinals we even obliterated Inter, 8-3. 5-4 in the semis against City. Once again we will play PSG in the final. But this time we lose. I mean, those finals have been nearly exclusively against PSG the last few years. And I mean, once again Moukoko outscores Haaland. 29 for Moukoko, 26 for Haaland. But these stats look tasty. 19 for Martinelli, 15 goals and 11 assists for Haaland. A bit of a slower season for Bellingham. He's 27, 98 overall. 29 points after 7 seasons. We have to strap ourselves in the last 3 seasons to get in more points. To start off season number 8, we go in for a man that left us before, for Liverpool. Now we take him back, even though we don't really need him anymore. It's Karim Adeyemi coming back home after he left us for his release clause, 117 million from Liverpool. The second and probably final player of this season that goes into the club is an Italian central midfielder. It is Fabio Miretti coming into the club for 60 million plus Manuel Locatelli was decreasing in overall. So this is the final squad for the 8th season, and as you can see, no changes in the starting 11 here. Adeyemi now on the bench, 28, 88. We have Schultz who returned from loan, he's about 23, 88 overall. Richardson on the reserves, 22-88 the left back. I mean, this squad is just immense. Just one player under the overall of 19, Couto, the right back. First shot at glory in season number 8. 1 point is on the line against Bayer Leverkusen with our full strength first 11. And we get it. Madsen and Martinelli score our goals. First point in season end of season number 8. And once again we get +3 for winning the Bundesliga. 79 points, 11 ahead of Leipzig. Bayern Munich all the way down in 6th. However, we don't defend our DFB Pokal title. Leverkusen win that over Hoffenheim. We are back to same old, being defeated by Freiburg at home in the quarterfinals. We topped our Champions League group, 2 points ahead of Salzburg, and Chelsea finished in rock bottom. What are they doing there? In the round of 16 we scraped through Monaco, 3-2 on aggregate, only just. And in the quarters we were defeated by Milan, so no Champions League in season number 8. The stats are looking much bleaker this season, much worse. Martinelli with 16 goals, 14 assists, brilliant, 30 contributions in 27. But Haaland only with 14 goals, Moukoko with 13, Bellingham 12 goals, 7 assists. Then for Malen, not bad those stats, but not great either. The team is just unbeatable at this point. We have no player now under the overall of 90, as Couto has just grown to a 90. Even the bench is looking ridiculous. The subs bench, even the reserves. It's disgusting actually how we didn't win the Champions League, at least the DFB Pokal this season. Only 4 points here in season number 8 for winning the Super Cup and the Bundesliga. That has to get better again in season number 9. We are on 33 points here after 8 seasons. Even though we have over 300 million in our bank, we only go in for one single player to give us some depth in the centre-back spots. For the future, a man 21 years of age, I presume the Virgil van Dijk regen. It is Lorenzo de Jong, what a name for Dutch centre-back, 75 million from Leverkusen. I can only repeat myself, de Jong doesn't even make it on the bench, on the subs bench. We have a crazy good team and I want us to win multiple trophies in season number 9. Are you actually serious, guys? Moises Caicedo's release clause of 147 million has been met by Bayer Leverkusen, and he has left us at the end of the transfer window. To replace Moises Caicedo, we go in for a Belgian central midfielder. Probably the Kevin De Bruyne region. He's 20 years of age, 84 overall. It is Raphael Mathieu joining us from Napoli for 112.4 million. We don't have an outright CDM now in the squad anymore, but I don't play with CDMs because Kamavinga is already the deepest here at CM. The others are cams. We have Miretti and Zeremeri both on the bench, and then now Mathieu as well. We start off the season with a Super Cup game against Bayer Leverkusen, Sancho on the right wing, because Malen is injured. We quick sim the game here, and actually Borussia Dortmund win 2-1. Goals by Wirtz and Martinelli. We prevail and get our first point of season number 9. In the winter transfer window, we had to sell Min Jung Wang to Olympique Lyon. He was just outgrown by everybody in the squad. We only have 2 seasons left. I don't see the need to keep him around. 69 million, nice number. We got at the end of season number 9, we are really in our own league here. 22 points ahead of Bayern. Only 1 defeat all season long. Nearly an invincible season again. But 89 points, I think that's the most points we've ever collected here. However, once again, we lose the DFB Pokal. This time in the final against Stuttgart 2-1. However, the big one, the UEFA Champions League. We topped our group in flying colours, 6 points ahead of Real Sociedad. In the round of 16, we beat Roma 5-2. But in the quarters, we got defeated by Milan. Once again, Milan. I think it was last season already we got defeated by Milan. And even Milan in the end is the winner of the Champions League. Haaland and Moukoko both with 20 goals, the top of our stats. Haaland with 17, he's not really convinced me. I mean, Moukoko has scored more goals in most of the seasons. Bellingham with a steady 13 goals, Wirtz with 11. And I mean, our team is ridiculously good. Maybe Malen now, he's 33, he might get replaced. We have Kamavinga who was injured, that's why he hasn't really grown that much. Bellingham had a 98 at 29 years of age. Wirtz at a 95. We have Schlotterbeck at the 95. Kobel at the 96. This team is insane. Madsen even up to a 93. After 9 seasons, we are on 37 points. Napoli ahead of us with 49, of course. Maybe we can catch up to them, but therefore we need a perfect season. Let's jump into the final season with Borussia Dortmund. Ahead of the final season, we have done a massive club clear out, selling Daniel Malen to RB Leipzig. He was 33 already, on the decline. Köhler to, of course, Brighton, because, yeah, we have enough strikers. He's from the youth, of course. 98 million we got. Schröder for 7.4 to Brentford. Brunner, 95.5 to Inter Milan, the default Dortmund player. Haas for 38.8 million to Milan, also a youth academy player, just like Müller here. 87.9 million. We have grown him into an exciting prospect. Duranville the same. We had too much depth on the wing position, so we had to clear that out. And then Richardson. There I couldn't do anything about it. His release clause had been met. But I'm gonna show you why I won't do anything about that. Because we have an actual left back in Fuchs 2387 from Germany, from the youth. He returned from loan and he's an 87 overall player. Now we can use him. Otherwise, this team is just extremely balanced. I could not even change anything at all. We can play, I guess, Sancho here. See, we still have a lot of wingers on even on the reserves here. I am going in for one final player here. In, of course, this takeover. It is Pablo Gavi. And we have over a billion. A billion in the bank. I can offer him whatever I like. He accepts 300k a week. The former Barcelona man. In real life, of course, Barcelona man. Plays for Newcastle United here. Here he joins us from Newcastle for 140 million on the dot. And so this is the squad going into the final season. We have done an amazing job over those 10 seasons. Adeyemi now on that right wing. We can even replace him with, I don't even know, Sancho. So we have only 90 plus rated players in the squad. Gavi even doesn't make it to the starting 11 at 90 overall. To start off this season, we played a German Super Cup against Stuttgart once again for 1 point. Can we get that point before really starting the season? Yes, I think we've won every single Super Cup if I'm not mistaken. Haaland scores, we get our first point. In the final season it is standard procedures. We win the Bundesliga once again, 3 points onto the leaderboard. We've also absolutely destroyed Stuttgart in the DFB Pokal final 5-0 to win yet another point. However, the one I want to know most about is the Champions League. We topped our group 1 point ahead of Villarreal. Round of 16, we destroyed Brighton 5-0, 5-0 on aggregate. In the quarters, we destroyed Athletic Bilbao, but in the semis, we got beaten, oh my god, by Villarreal. Our group stage opponents have knocked us out of the Champions League, so no points there. It is Villarreal actually, our group stage opponents, the one that knocked us out in the semis, who go on to defeat PSG to win the Champions League. The stats of the final season are looking a bit bleak again. Mukoko 17 top scorer, 16 for Haaland, 12 for Miretti, not bad, 11 for Wirtz, but no one in their 20s. And this is your final squad here at Dortmund. 98 Bellingham, 96 Wirtz, 96 Haaland. I mean, this team is incredible. 94 Madsen left back, 95 Kobel at 35 years of age. We have a 92 Kamavinga. An incredible side. Mukoko backup striker 95. Even some of the youth players like Scholz, like Janssen even, and Mathieu. Really, really good players. Fuchs as well, on the reserves here. 24-90 overall, one of our first youth academy players. So Borussia Dortmund have won 7 league titles out of 10. This is great. They have made 42 points onto the leaderboard in 10 seasons, which puts us, of course, in 5th place, second bottom. Still 10 points ahead of Manchester United though. I hope you enjoyed this takeover with Borussia Dortmund. If you have any ideas, please drop them down below in the comments. And lads, please remember to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, because that helps my growth, the growth of my channel a lot. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, it's been Rebuild Sombrero. I'm out.